everyone, and welcome to Campbell's Wreath School. Early festive seasons greetings to everybody. So this is your DIY wreath kit, and I'm going to take you through step by step how to make your Christmas door wreath. So just a couple of things while we unpack your wreath kit. First of all, you'll need a pair of quite decent strong scissors, and you'll also need to cover your table if you're working on a nice kitchen table or something like that. So your standard kit will come with some real wire, some eucalyptus already bunched up for you, a ribbon, some of these lovely dried oranges, cones, apples and cinnamon sticks. Don't worry if you haven't got exactly those ingredients. Some will have slightly different ingredients, but you'll all make something beautiful. What I've done is I've put your wreath ring in the centre, and one side of that you'll notice that the cut spruce is slightly smaller. So some of the smaller bunches, if you just pop those to one side, take your wreath ring out, and then pop the bigger pieces to the other side. This will all become clear in a moment. So you just want to attach your real wire to the back of the frame. Just wrap it round a couple of times and then round itself, just to make sure that it's secure. Just give it a little tug and make sure it's secure. And then turn your wreath ring back round the right way round. Put you round so that you can see what I'm doing from my viewpoint. And what you need to do is take two of the kind of medium or slightly larger sprigs of spruce and pop them together like that, and then take your real wire round and give them a good tug so that they're nice and firm and they're in place. Then you take another piece and you pop that on the top. So you want two going out, one going across. Then turn your wreath ring slightly in that direction, and then your next piece goes on top of that, the piece that you've just done. And you can see that you'll get a little kind of flat spot there. Don't worry about that. The next thing that you do is put a piece on top of that, like so. And again, binding nice and tight. So now you can see that your shape is starting to happen. You always go in the same direction. It doesn't really matter which direction, just go in the same direction, because that way you get that nice spiral shape that everyone's looking for. So a nice biggish piece towards the back, bind that on, and then another piece in front of that. Now what you'll notice is that you can see the inside part here of your wreath. So these nice little skinny bits, they're like little fingers. Take those and pop them along the edge, binding tight, and you can see that they're starting to hide the little bits and bobs. You don't want to put too much inside there. That piece that I just picked up was too big. So I'm just trying to find one of those little fingers. There we go, that small one, that small piece will do. Don't put huge pieces in, because what happens is that the middle will start to fill in, and the whole point of a wreath is that you have a centre, that you can see the middle, and you don't want pieces to encroach on that, because suddenly it doesn't look like a wreath anymore. So you make sure that you keep that integrity there, that shape. That's really important. There we go, bind that on. And then another bigger piece. So essentially what you're doing is going outer edge for 2, like that. Centre for 1. Inside for a nice skinny piece, like that. And just keep going all the way around until you're finished. So one of the things to bear in mind, and it's a thing that quite often I find when I do these classes, is that you need to keep moving around the design. So keep moving in the same direction, round and round and round the design. Quite often people will mistakenly put pieces on top of each other. And the problem with this is that you run out of materials very quickly, but also you're not travelling around the design. It becomes so thick and bunched up that there's actually nowhere for you to put your decorations, which obviously is a bit of a shame. So now we've nearly got to the end, and I just want to show you that you need to slightly move back the pieces that are already there, because you want to tuck the base of the piece of spruce, the stem, underneath the ones which you've already started, so that you get a nice seamlessness there. So you can see I'm just tucking them under, and you might have to push some of the fronds just slightly to one side. There's just one more in there, so you can see I'm just going to push that right back there, pop that underneath here, and then I'm going to just make sure that you wind your reel wire between all the fronds so you're not squashing any of them, so it looks nice and full. And there we go. Just want one more here, you can see. Just find a little piece to work now. There we go, that's a good bit. And that goes in there, and you can see that that's just joining that up nicely now. And then turn your wreath ring over and just cut that wire and pop it through the edge of the wreath ring, and then just push it back into itself so that there aren't any nasty wires sticking out to scratch your door. So now we come to the fun part of decorating your Christmas door wreath. You'll see that I have put some string on it for you for hanging. It's quite a good idea just to use that, keep that at the top, and then it'll give you an idea of the shape overall and also where you want to put your decorations, because you're going to be viewing it on your door in that kind of perspective. The first things that I would pop into your wreath are the eucalyptus. So I've bunched up 5 bunches of eucalyptus for you. And I would pop those, usually I do these equidistant. I'm kind of used to doing this, obviously, so I don't generally plan my designs out because I kind of know instinctively where to put things, but you might be more comfortable planning it out. If you do it like that, you can see that the 5 are working nicely at equal distances from each other. So you just want to take the end of your eucalyptus and push the wire carefully through so that it comes to the back of your wreath. I'm just going to move these out of the way. That's probably why I don't plan it. And then turn your wreath over and you just want to pop that wire back through into your moss base, and that way it won't scratch your door, and also all the bits and pieces that you're putting in don't fall out. So I've sneakily left a little bit of an extra gap there because I'm going to put the ribbon at the top here rather than at the bottom. This is your design, so you do exactly what you want to do. But I kind of like that ribbon there. I think it's quite nice when it's hanging and it blows in the wind and it looks kind of cute. So what I like to do when I'm decorating, again, everybody is different. You'll see some florists will put all the decorations throughout the centre. When I design, I quite like things to go kind of on the slightly more on the outer edges, and then perhaps kind of a little bit more next to each other. So you have like your decorations are throughout the wreath rather than concentrated in the centre, if that makes sense. So there we go, there we have it, your very own Christmas straw wreath. I hope you enjoy making it, and do send me photos. I'd love to see them on my social media. You can find me on Instagram on Campbell's Flowers. You can also find me on Facebook and all the usual platforms. Thank you so much for supporting me. It's been a pretty rubbish year, so I do really appreciate all your support, and have a most Merry Christmas.